You have seen this headline 100 times by now. WebAssembly is finally replacing JavaScript. So, is the language that runs the entire web about to die? The honest answer up front? No. And also, kind of yes. JavaScript is more entrenched than it has ever been. But in 2025, something underneath it genuinely cracked, because the thing being replaced was never the language you type. It is the monopoly, the 30-year rule that a browser speaks exactly one language and nothing else. WebAssembly breaks that rule. Write in C++, Rust, Go, or C#, and it runs inside the browser at near native speed. Not translated into JavaScript, actually executed. And this is not a lab demo. Open Figma right now. That impossibly smooth canvas is C++ compiled to WebAssembly, and it made their app load more than 3 times faster. Photoshop runs in a browser tab today. So does Google Earth. Full desktop-grade software, shipped as WebAssembly, with nothing to install. So why did this get real specifically in 2025? Because the standard finally grew up. WebAssembly 3.0 shipped. Its headline feature has the most boring name in all of computing: garbage collection. Stay with me. That one dull phrase is the whole plot. And it refused to stay inside the browser. WebAssembly walked out onto the server and started eating containers alive. Want to tell that real money is moving? Weeks ago, a giant of the global CDN bought an entire serverless WebAssembly company, outright. 2 fronts, 1 shift, the browser and the server. Let me walk you through exactly what broke and exactly what replaced it. First, some fairness, because I genuinely like JavaScript. It won the web for real reasons. It is everywhere by default, it ships in every browser on Earth with zero setup, and you can build almost anything with it. Nobody sane actually wants it gone. But JavaScript pays for that friendliness and speed. It is dynamically typed, garbage collected, and largely figured out while it runs. For a form or a dashboard, you never feel the cost. For a video editor, a game, or a 3D engine, you slam face first into a wall. Developers hit that wall early. Back in 2017, Figma had already written their editor in C++ and cross-compiled it into a weird stripped-down slice of JavaScript called asm.js, basically tricking the engine into running it fast. It worked, but it was a hack. That hack worked well enough that the browser makers made it official. In 2017, all 4 major browsers shipped WebAssembly, a real compact bytecode that runs near the speed of native machine code. For the first time, the browser had a serious second language. But version 1 came with a hard limit. A WAS module got exactly one thing to work with: a single flat block of memory and raw numbers. That is perfect for C++ and Rust, which already manage their own memory by hand, down to the byte. It was miserable, though, for nearly every other language. Java, C#, Kotlin, Go, they all lean on a garbage collector to clean up memory for you. To run them in WAS, you had to compile a whole garbage collector into the module itself, megabytes of dead weight before your code did a single useful thing. And you might ask, why not just let the browser run native code directly and skip all this? Because native code can read anything on your machine. WebAssembly runs in a locked sandbox that can only do what you allow. Safety was always the entire point. This is the exact wall that 2025 knocked down. WebAssembly 3.0 is a genuinely huge release: 64-bit memory, multiple memories, native exceptions, tail calls, faster vector math, but one feature towers over all the rest: garbage collection, built directly into WebAssembly itself. Now a module can simply borrow the browser's own collector instead of dragging its own along. That megabytes of overhead problem I just described, gone, basically overnight, and the languages came flooding in. In a single year, Java, Kotlin, Dart, Scala, even OCaml shipped real WebAssembly backends, every one of them riding that new built-in collector. Languages that could never realistically touch the browser suddenly could, and efficiently. The 64-bit upgrade matters just as much. Old WAS was capped at 4 gigabytes of memory, enough to choke on a big enough Figma file or a giant dataset. The new ceiling inside the browser is 16 gigs, and out on a server, effectively unlimited. You have almost certainly used this without even noticing. Whole game engines, Unity, Unreal, export straight to WebAssembly now, and heavy tools like CAD software run in a tab. Anything that used to demand a download can increasingly just be a link you click. So who is actually winning on the web right now? Honestly, Microsoft. Their Blazor framework lets you build entire frontends in C# with no JavaScript, and it already makes up roughly 42% of all the WebAssembly out there on the live web today. The rest is a fair fight still warming up. C++ through Emscripten sits around 10%, Rust is barely 1.5%, Go is a rounding error. It is early days, no question about it. but every single one of those doors is now standing wide open, and writing it is not exotic at all. You take a perfectly normal Rust function, add one small annotation telling the compiler to target WAS, and build. Out drops a tiny module that any web page can call as if it had simply been there the whole time. Now here's the part most people completely miss. The browser was never actually the endgame for WebAssembly. It was the training ground. The real prize is sitting out on the server. The key that unlocked it is WASI, the WebAssembly System Interface. It hands a WAS module a safe, sandbox way to touch files, the network, and the clock, all the things a real program needs, with no browser wrapped around it at all. Then 2025 stabilized the big one, WASI 0.2, and the component model. Fastly describes it perfectly. Software you build like Lego bricks, a Go component snapping straight into a Rust component with no messy glue code wedged between them. And that put WebAssembly on a direct collision course with the container. A Docker container drags an entire operating system around with it, and cold starts in hundreds of milliseconds. A WAS module is just your code, sealed inside a tiny sandbox. How much lighter are we talking? A WAS function can cold start in under a millisecond, a single thousandth of a second, using a small fraction of the memory a container demands. For serverless, that is not an improvement. It is an entirely different category, and it is safe by default, which is the quiet superpower here. A WAS module can do absolutely nothing, touch no file, open no socket, unless you explicitly hand it that permission. That is exactly what you want when you are running a stranger's code at the edge. Even Docker itself saw this coming. Docker added first-class support for running WebAssembly containers, and Kubernetes can now schedule WAS workloads right beside your normal ones. The tools that defined the last decade are quietly making room for it, which is why the entire edge went all in. Cloudflare workers, Fastly Compute, Fermyon, all of them running WebAssembly in production, spread across hundreds of data centers, executing right next to your users instead of an ocean away. And then the money spoke, loudly. In December 2025, Akamai, one of the biggest CDNs on the planet, bought Fermyon, the company building serverless WebAssembly, outright, and companies like Shopify are already swapping containers for Wasm on their hottest, most performance-critical paths. Okay, now let me pour some cold water, because that title really is a little unfair. The raw adoption numbers are humble. WebAssembly shows up on only about 0.35% of all websites, and that figure has been basically flat for 2 straight years now. But averages lie to you. Look at where it actually lives. On the top 1,000 sites, the ones with real traffic and real performance budgets, adoption climbs to around 2%. It wins exactly where the work is hardest and the stakes are highest. And I will not oversell it. WebAssembly still cannot touch the page directly. It has to reach back through JavaScript just to change a single pixel. The debugging story is rougher, and the tooling is younger. This is a bet on the trajectory, not a finished product you deploy blindly. Because JavaScript? It still boots every single one of those WAS apps. It still owns the DOM. Every button, every click, every pixel of the page runs through it. You literally cannot start WebAssembly without it. JavaScript is the host, and it is not going anywhere. So what genuinely dies here? Not the language, a belief. The old assumption that the web only runs JavaScript, that serious software cannot possibly live inside a tab, and that every tiny server function needs a whole operating system bolted underneath it. The shape that replaces it is far simpler than the hype. JavaScript is the glue and the friendly face of the app. WebAssembly is the engine room where the heavy lifting quietly happens. They are partners now, not rivals fighting over a single throne. So should you actually care? If you build CRUD apps and call APIs all day, honestly, not yet, and that is completely fine. But if you write the hot loops, the tooling, the edge functions, the parts where raw speed is the product, the floor is genuinely shifting under you. Here is my real advice. Do not go rewrite anything. Just learn what compiles to WebAssembly. A little Rust, some Go, some C#, and keep one eye on that component model. That is where the next decade of the web is being quietly poured, right now. JavaScript built the web, and it earned every bit of that. It is just not going to run all of it, entirely by itself anymore. If this reframed how you see your own stack, subscribe. This is where we take the hype apart and show you the receipts underneath.